Yeah, yeah. Take over. The break's over. Yo, the takeover. The break's over.
All right, everyone. That was the weirdest count-in I've ever had. You guys didn't.
Yes, it is.
You guys didn't hear it because I am cutting it out. But that was the weirdest countdown I've ever done into a video. All right, everybody. This is another new show that we're doing, and it's essentially a branch off of our Wrestle recap. We're calling this Wrestle Recap Retro.
Or Retro Recap, as we call it.
No? They call it Retro Recap, but it's called, the title of the video, if you look up, is going to be Wrestle Recap Retro. Because I made up the show, so fuck you guys.
No, it's no good.
Shut up. I am the host of this show, damn it. Anyways, so tonight we decided to, by we, I mean myself, Suave is making a return, and...
Señor Guapo.
Alright, that's what we're going with tonight. That happened.
Wow.
So, we decided...
You're doing it live, right?
Fucking live!
So, tonight we decided to watch some WCW, which I'd never watched before.
Super nostalgia for me, because
Yes.
that's what I watched growing up. I really wasn't into WWF stuff. My mom wouldn't let me watch it.
Why wouldn't she let you watch WWF?
Well, it was the Attitude Era.
Oh, so all the puppies.
All the puppies, and all the cursing, and all the violence, and...
Alright, you know, all the stuff that made it cool.
Exactly. I didn't get to enjoy that till later on when I went back and rewatched all that stuff, but...
So, tonight we decided to watch Superbrawl VIII.
The very first pay-per-view I actually watched.
Oh, it's super nostalgic for Suave.
First time I've ever seen it, so.
It's the first time I ever saw it, too. So, let's start off with our first match of the night. It is for the television title.
We're going to talk about that epic intro first, though.
Epic intro? Go ahead.
Just build up the story
Suave
between Sting and Hogan.
Suave was serious with notes tonight, guys.
I really was. I actually have 3 pages of notes.
I have index cards with barely anything on them, just so I remember all the matches. Suave is like 3 pages of notes.
I have my mind.
Guapo's doing it live.
As you hear crickets.
It needs to be in Espanol, senor.
Yeah. No.
No for El Guapo.
Man of few words.
Anyways, so first match, Suave, go.
Alright, well, first match we had Booker T versus Rick Martel for the TV title. And it was a really slow start to it. It really didn't draw any of our attention because we were talking about random things throughout that match. But as I was paying attention, it was going pretty well. You know, Rick Martel was just okay, in my opinion. He didn't really sell well.
Booker T was the star of this match.
Oh, definitely. He's one of the biggest stars in WCW at the time. He was a rising star, very young, very athletic.
For me, it's always it's weird to see Booker T with the short hair because I'm so used to the dreadlocks.
Well, that's what I was used to as a kid, just seeing him like that. When you got the dreads, it's like, well, he kind of looks shaggy, I guess.
Shaggy.
But in that first match, that scissor kick looked awful.
Yeah, that was a bad scissor kick. It was bad.
I think he was just adapting the scissor kick, so I don't think you can hold him to anything because I think he was actually a fresh wrestler. He wasn't somebody who was veteran like most people.
Well, yeah, they called him a young man for most of the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Or match.
Well, one thing I loved about WCW that I did about today's WWE or WWF back in the day, the commentary. They actually had commentary.
Yes. Oh, it was so weird to have real commentary.
Calling the match like it should. Saying the names of the moves and telling everybody what the hell's going on instead of, hey, Michael Cole, tell us how to download the WWE app. It's pointless.
And just rambling on about, like, nothing about... Well, they do talk about storyline stuff, which is part of it, but not all of commentary.
But it's building up matches that just don't need to be built.
Mm-hmm.
But in this, is nothing but calling the match the way it should be.
And also we saw Raven's Flock make its way down to the match early in the match, so
Oh yeah, they were at ringside.
kind of like in the audience, really. They
The
actually had their own seats,
Front row.
and I think it drew a lot of attention away from the match at that point, and we really didn't see what was going on,
yeah, it did that.
and it was just really unnecessary.
The one thing that did confuse me about this match, we actually sat and had like a little conversation about it, was the fact that after Booker T wins, he wins the television title.
Again.
Perry Saturn immediately comes out, starts attacking him, and then their match starts.
And we were trying to
And-
figure out how this match got into play, so we had to do some research and find out that Saturn was injured before, and he was the title holder, and then if he comes back healthy, he can have a challenge for the rematch anytime, anywhere.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that he could do it anytime, anywhere, which I guess after...
So it's not like the Hardcore Championship?
Oh my god, the Hardcore Championship is just ridiculous.
Talking about the Hardcore Championship, really?
Yes.
5 changes in one night, that's all I'm saying.
Ridiculous. But you gotta give it to Booker T for wrestling two legit length matches in a row.
The length of him being out there was, I'm pretty sure, close to almost 30 minutes total. And he didn't look like he was slowing down at any point.
He did wrestle for 30 minutes because at one point something happened and I had to fast forward to get us back to where we were. And it was about the 30-minute mark.
About the 32-minute mark, yeah.
So he wrestled for 32 minutes straight. Or about 30, because
About
you give
30.
some time for the intro and
I
everything.
gotta say, though, the second match he had, I thought was just so much better.
It was.
It was very athletic. Both men showed great things. One thing I actually wrote down on my notes was, Wrestle!
Wrestle!
Wrestling. Because it was wrestling.
And Booker T is a beast. As me and Kennedy
Yes.
we stated
He's a
throughout
beast.
the entire match, he is a beast. And very underrated back in the day, and still very underrated today as a wrestler.
That kick at the end of the second match.
Oh, man,
that
it
was
great.
That was square on. That was a good finisher right there.
All I can say about this match is, I can dig it. Sucker.
Also, not about the match, before we get on to the third match, which I think was good. I'd give it a decent 6 out of 10.
Anyways.
But the ring in WCW does not give.
No, I noticed that. It looks like
looks
two
painful.
pieces of It looks like 2 pieces of wood with a tablecloth on it. Like it.
2
There's
tablecloths.
2 tablecloths, for a little extra padding. Because like
Can't have splinters.
that match, that ring does not give at all.
But the Booker T Spinebuster was just stiff. We cringed every time he did it. Like we're like, ooh.
We cringe every time anyone hit the mat square on their back.
Yeah.
That was stiff. And the the wrestlers work stiffer too. There were a lot more shots that you were like, seriously, you just punched him in the face. That's what just happened there.
There were some real hits.
This was not no fake, over the top dramatization. This was like some guys were out there really fighting and really giving it all, even though the outcomes were predetermined. But these guys were out there giving everything.
Still real to me, damn it.
All right,
Just
so
like
let's
Christmas.
move on to our next match, which is La Parca.
La Parca.
Which in Spanish means what?
The mask. Or
Or-
the costume.
There you go.
All of it's just bullshit.
And he faced Disco Inferno, or the first Fandango.
As we all know him to be.
He looks exactly like Fandango is dressing right now.
I swear it's his dad, but it's probably not.
But damn it, that hair is great.
His hair was great.
It didn't move. It was like concrete.
Like 4 cans of hairspray.
I wish
man.
I can get that hairspray.
Maybe
in
it's
a-
like a Lego man. Maybe it's just a little piece that just clicks onto his head.
Maybe, but in a night where we see guys with mullets,
Oh, and
long mullet, short mullet,
there were
bald
some
mullet.
sweet
we,
mullets in this pay-per-view.
We saw some fantastic mullets.
The 90s were full of wonderful mullets, that's all I can say.
Sweet, sweet mullets and ponytails.
But also gonna say, Disco Inferno, great theme.
That is. It was. I was actually really rocking that theme.
It's weird not seeing like your wrestlers coming out with these extravagant, elaborate entrances. It was just mainly music, and they walk out. Really don't do anything. No posing at the front.
And
They
no
walk
big
out.
stage, no
Nope.
big Titantron, none of that.
Very, very simple, what's called graphics behind them.
Exactly.
Just said their name and a picture
And
of
a
them.
picture of them, yep. And I don't have any notes for this match because I wasn't super engaged with it.
It was,
I don't know what happened, honestly.
since I'm the one who actually took notes, I'll let you know
I
what
think
went on
me
in this
and
match.
Jordan were phased out in this part. And
There's a lot of.
wait. Who's Jordan? I mean, Senor Guapo.
Si, Senor Guapo.
Sorry, I was thinking about somebody else.
So Suave Centellis is going to give you a kind of overview of this match.
This is the Suave review.
Trademark.
Suave breakdown.
This is Suave Breakdown.
That's a thing now. That's gonna be a thing now.
It's a thing. Jericho invented it.
Probably.
Hashtag Jericho invented it.
Later. We'll get to that.
All right, well, this was a very physical match. Like the two, a lot of stiff hits, and Kennedy was sitting there questioning half the time. La Parka does not go anything less than 100%. This dude is hitting this guy.
Yeah, I think he was just like,
Super
and
big
now I'm
and
gonna
super
kick you in the
physical.
face. And then he did kick him in the face.
He did kick him in the face. Legit kicked him in the face.
Like that was not a fake hit. He just like, and I'm gonna kick you in the
Like
face.
he kind of gave him this little love tap on his head. He was just like, "Hey, I'm about to kick you in the head, so just prepare." And all of a sudden he bounces off the ropes and just lays into him.
I just imagine Disco Inferno like them.
Not the hair. Anything but the hair.
He just LaBarca just like, just so you know, I'm about to kick you in the face. And Disco Inferno's like, wait, what? Thunk.
Yeah, it was just.
You hear a very loud clap, and that's his boot hitting his face.
It was a straightforward match. It's just straight up a lot of outside dives from La Parka, and Disco Inferno just pretty much doing what he does best, is just stiff clothesline, superplexes off the top rope, leg drops, you name it. You know, just we saw a lot, like the padding on the outside of the ring.
Nothing.
What padding?
It looked like they rolled out 2 pieces of plastic out
It looked like
there.
those kindergarten sleep mats that you used to have as a
that's
child.
what it was. They were just like, fuck it, we'll just run to Target and grab some. It's gonna
That's
be
pretty
fine.
much what they did. But it just ended up just Disco Inferno wins, and just very lame ending. I'll give that match about a 5 out of 10.
Matches like this, sadly, are exactly the reason why I have to write down all of the matches. Because I would have forgot this match.
Me too. It was one of those matches.
And next up is Brad Armstrong versus Goldberg.
So I guess you guys can guess what the ending of this match is going to be.
And how long did it last? About 2.5 minutes?
Something like that. But, to me, it showed why Goldberg was...
A monster?
Yes, why he was as good as he was, because all of his slams were just fluid. There was that moment of pause, and then he would just do the slam, and it was just a fluid motion. It was good
Brad
to look
Armstrong
at.
had no chance in this match. He got to pull off a move, and then all of a sudden Goldberg just went off.
He was the Zack Ryder of the WCW locker room at the time.
Pretty much.
And he got,
That's what I
instead of getting fed to Super Cena or to Brock Lesnar, he got fed to Goldberg, who showed amazing feats of strength. Those power slams were just made us cringe.
The spear
Oh yeah,
even
especially with the no give to the ring. That's where it really showed that there was no give to the ring at all.
And you can see guys' backs just turning bright red throughout the matches.
Sorry, my friend who I do movie reviews with is still here, and right before we started recording,
He never left.
he never left, and him and Suave and Senor Guapo here just spent like the first 20 minutes before we started recording asking me what movies I had seen, and like all of them were the answer was no, and I crushed some souls tonight.
My childhood hurts for you.
But let's get back to the wrestling, because we are going to talk about my favorite match on this card.
It was the best match of the night. By
And-
far.
And
Yeah.
that makes it look like I'm not quite so biased.
No, it's by far the most athletic, the most entertaining match of the night. It made everyone laugh, made everyone cry, and it made everyone very happy at the end with the results. So, let's let Kennedy introduce this match for us.
And
Nope,
Guapo
you're-
never cries.
I think Suave is going to introduce this match.
Oh, so I'm gonna.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. So we had not an intercontinental, a
Cruiserweight title match. Title versus mask.
yes, title versus mask. We had the champion Chris Jericho.
Woo!
Okay, she's fangirling over there. And versus one of my favorites when I was a kid, Juventud Guerrero.
Yeah.
Hoovy.
This match was good, and it was also funny because the first part of the match, Jericho comes out with the cruiserweight title, and he doesn't want to take it off because apparently in other promos on other shows, he's been seen going to dinner with the title on. He sleeps with the title on. He goes out in public with the title on. He like showers with the title on. Like so he didn't want to take off the title for the match. So he wrestles with the title for the first like couple seconds.
So he gets like,
A couple minutes.
Yeah.
so he got gut checked with a kick by Juventud.
Yes, and then he's like, and it knocks. Since he gets the title belt kicked into his stomach, it kind of knocks the
He
wind
yelled
out
at
of
the
him.
ref, take the title, take the title. That's why heel Jericho is just so awesome.
And at one point, he
Carrying the sign as he walks out
Yeah.
with a fan.
That said, I'm a Jerichoholic.
And another thing was that they end up on the outside of the ring, and Jericho pretends to be knocked out, and as the ref's counting, he looks up and looks around, and then lays back down like he's knocked out, so he could get counted out.
So he doesn't lose his title. He can lose the match by count out, but he would never lose the title. So I think it was great. Also, one of my favorite moment of the whole match. He does the drop kick off the ropes.
Mm-hmm.
It hits Juventud on the apron. And he falls over and he's like, I can fly too!
This is Jericho. This is Jericho essentially inventing the Weasley heel who has the huge chip on his shoulder.
I've seen at least 3 or 4 moves that he did in his match that you see newer wrestlers doing. So yeah, when someone says Jericho invented it, he did.
Hashtag Jericho invented it.
He invented Bo Dallas.
He did invent Bo Dallas. He invented Bo Dallas. This match finished with the Lion Tamer, which is a rare treat for me because I never get to see the Lion
In the
Tamer.
middle of the ring with flawless, just looked great.
There's also the part of the match where he has him in some kind of submission move where he has his back down, pushing his torso up with his knee.
Mm-hmm.
And he's looking at the ref. And he's like, he said yes! He said yes! And he starts celebrating like he just won the match. And just throws Juventud on the ground, and it's just...
I wish this heel Jericho would come back.
They need to take some of these heel moments that Jericho did and just put it onto someone today, recycle it a little bit, like the outside part where he's just trying to... The ring...
Yes, we want Miz.
Wait, hold on.
Miz,
Oh, Senor Guapo wants to talk about the Miz.
which is a rarity because Senor Guapo hates the Miz.
I do hate the Miz, but at one point in the match, Jericho set up the steps outside of the ring, ran off the steps to try to jump onto Juvio, and Juvio basically Juventud. I should know this, but you know, it's.
Senor Guapo is a little rusty on his Spanish.
You see,
I'm telling your mom.
please no.
His mom is a Spanish teacher.
Yeah, I don't know Spanish very well. Anyway,
Dos tequila, por favor.
when Juventud
Un cerveza, por favor.
basically Toro's Jericho's face nails the side rail. I was
They're
like,
like, oh,
no,
God, not in the face.
not the moneymaker. I'm like, oh crap, they're recycling.
Hashtag Jericho.
Jericho for the Miz, because Miz right now doesn't want his face hit.
So not only is Miz stealing from 2 years ago Cody Rhodes, he's stealing from several
stealing
years
from
ago
1998
Jericho.
1998 Jericho, 2 years ago Cody Rhodes, and about 2.5, 3 years ago John Morrison.
And Rock.
And a little bit of Rock.
At least he's mixing it up. Just a little bit.
Well, the match ended up with Juventud losing, and he loses the mask, and everyone shows his face, and Jericho's yelling at him, "Look at this ugly guy! Look at him!"
They are not happy about it, at all.
The crowd hates Jericho.
The crowd hated Jericho, and that's what he wants.
And
That's what you want from your heel. Nowadays, a lot of people cheer the heels, and you really want to be booed as a heel. But
I think after this match, Juventud's career in WCW actually went forward after he lost the match, and it just escalated from there. But now where is he? We looked up. He's in Mexico wrestling.
Triple A Mexican wrestling. Still in the name Juventud Guerrero.
Well, if it works.
And he's actually, I think, a title holder at the moment. I didn't read too far ahead into it.
Okay. Next match we have Steve Michaels. Yeah, that's what this match was.
Who?
One we were like, who the fuck is Steve Michael?
Mick Michael.
Mick Michael? I even wrote it down wrong. That's how much I didn't care. I have Steve Michael. It's Steve McMichael.
And the other guy was the
British
Bulldog.
Jackass. And this match was a snore fest for all of us. We were just...
There was a match?
Yeah.
I was on my phone.
I know he did a sharpshooter at one point.
Did
And
he? It didn't even look like a sharpshooter. It looked like a clover leaf or something.
it was a sharpshooter, and he grabbed the rope, and I was like, well...
Oh yeah, it ended with he didn't actually tap out or quit, and
Yeah, I didn't give up.
so he didn't give up. So apparently there'll be a thing with that, but
Yeah, it's boring. We don't need to watch it
yeah,
anymore.
that
On to the next one.
I think that was the piss break of the night, because I learned tonight that there wasn't a lot of women's wrestling in WCW. Which,
No, they're mainly managers.
so I did not know that. I think I assumed it because I've never seen any WCW women's wrestling showcase.
They're just arm candy in WCW.
So
But they
I did
should
not
be.
know that. But we're gonna
Better
move
look at
on
and
to
not
the.
talk.
Would you like to make that comment?
I think nope. You gotta say it now,
I say she hit you on your own.
and you wonder why you're single.
It
Oh,
happens.
he's been making fun of me all night.
You really have.
Two jokes.
That was the third one.
Um,
Don't say, though, there's only 2 jokes. No, third one. And there's probably be many more for the rest of the night.
Senor Guapo has been on my case all night.
You set me up for about them all. So.
He's not getting any cake anytime soon.
No cake for Senor
I
Guapo.
love chocolate cake.
Well, that's just awkward.
Wow.
Chocolate cake's good.
It's more awkward for me and Chris because me and Suave.
We've had excellent analogies with this cake.
Anyways,
I'm lost.
second best match of the night, in my opinion. Very
We actually got
close.
a warning at the beginning of the program about there's people in the show that we do not trust or...
WWE doesn't agree with and
Support.
doesn't support the values or something like that.
of
Because
wrestlers
we had
in the business.
Chris
Hey.
Benoit versus
He who should not
DDP
be named, apparently.
for the U.S.
He who shall
US
not be named
US
versus DDP.
US, heavyweight championship.
Yes, U.S. Heavyweight Championship. Who was champion?
DDP.
DDP was champion. I don't remember the belt being on him.
I just got to say one thing. The mullets in this match were fantastic.
There were some sweet mullets, especially from Mr. DDP.
They were beautiful.
Beautiful, sweet. That is my first comment on my index card. That is a sweet mullet.
I have the same thing written down. Sweet mullet.
That is a sweet, sweet mullet.
Like DDP came out, we saw the mullet, we're like, wow,
That
great
is
mullet.
a
Then
mullet.
Benoit came out, we're like,
Oh, look, another one.
another mullet. It's just a mullet palooza.
It's like seeing a unicorn.
Like, I really didn't write down too much for this match because I was actually really entranced into this match.
It was a good match.
They both performed very well. A lot of great suplexes, pin covers.
I was more impressed by the fact that you guys informed me that DDP had like bulging discs in his back at the time.
That's why he always wore that back brace.
Because he's wearing a back brace at the time, and I'm like seeing him take these bumps, and I'm like, holy shit, that's gotta hurt. That's gotta hurt a lot.
He was also in his mid-30s.
Yeah, there's that too.
Taking bumps like a champ.
And now he's making lots and lots of money on
Getting that
DDP
DDP yoga money.
Yeah.
Which I am currently doing at the moment. So if anyone out there that wants to give it a go, I give my thumbs up to it, saying try it, you'll love it. If you don't, he's gonna get diamond cuttered. He's gonna come to your house, diamond cut you in the middle of your living room, and make you do 10 of his diamond cutter push-ups.
Oh my god.
And
actually, me and Suave and Trey saw Gabriel Iglesias' stand-up the other night, and Gabriel Iglesias, the comedian, lost 100 pounds doing DDP yoga.
Another plug for him. He's actually going to make a lot of money just off celebrities just plugging his program.
Well, it's what most wrestlers that decide they're coming back, that are going to come back to wrestle, that's what they do to
He saved
get back
Scott
in
Hall's
shape.
life.
Yeah. I heard that's what who was it that came back recently that was doing DDP yoga?
Gold Dust.
Yeah, Gold Dust came back.
Jericho does it too.
Jericho does it too.
Jericho.
A lot of the guys that if they've been
Jake the Snake does it.
Yeah, it's apparently a great program. But let's talk about this great match. And silence.
Well,
There's
really
not-
didn't have too much written. It was just a lot of suplexes, counters.
There was not much to say about it other than it was just a great match.
It was a solid. I'd give it a 10 out of 10 just to how well it was actually put on. They performed it very well. Just, they took a lot of bumps, both of them.
Mm-hmm.
There was some hits I was like, did they really do that? Especially DDP at his age, or mid-30s, going against a young buck in Benoit at the time.
But DDP ended up retaining his title and winning this match. I say that like you guys haven't seen the show. I bet most of my subscribers have seen this and are like, okay, whatever. Let's see. Next match was Macho Man Randy Savage versus Lex Luger.
The total package.
The total package. And Senor Guapo is lost. He doesn't know where he is right now.
I'm just disappointed that the Macho Man didn't come out with the win on this one.
No win for Macho Man. One thing that bothered me is that they did not. I don't think they announced this was DQ. Like we just found out it was DQ midway through the match when the refs wasn't counting when they were outside the ring.
Because they don't want to announce anything. That's the one thing about WCW when they announce the matches. They really haven't said anything about what kind of match it is. You just immediately just think it's just a regular, normal match with all the disqualification rules and everything.
The other thing that really bothered me was so the NWO comes out because from the background research that we did, Macho Man had left the NWO at this point, right?
Yeah, but he still came out with the NWO music, and we were still kind of confused because we haven't really looked into the pay-per-view as much as we should have beforehand, but we just kind of on a whim was like, hey, let's do this one.
Mm-hmm. But so for what it seemed like, Macho Man had left the NWO, but he's still wearing the black and white, and but so the NWO comes out and attacks both of them, attacks Luger and Macho Man, and they fend him off, and then Hogan comes out and kind of calls the NWO back, and that's when Luger takes his opportunity to put
him in the
Macho
torture
Man,
rack.
Yeah, put him in the torture rack. But you don't see him give up. You don't see him give
That was
up.
an amazing rack. Just saying.
Why?
Because one, it was
That's
believable.
4.
It was believable.
That's 4.
It wasn't even a joke on anything. It was the Luger did. He made it look believable.
I would agree with you if I had saw it. We saw it in the replay because the camera was on Hogan most of the time.
The one thing I like about Luger, he sells an injury, unlike Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, Daniel Bryan is bad about it. I love Daniel Bryan. He is terrible about selling injuries. He'll come out and his arm will be all taped up, and he'll sell it he'll sell it when he's walking out to the ring, but then like a minute in the ring, he's like using that arm, and you're like, wait, wasn't that arm injured?
Yeah.
But Luger sells injuries apparently.
Well,
I
because
think
he wrestles injured. He
Yeah.
doesn't take any time off. He gets injured.
But that,
He's gonna power through it. And
that thing
do
where
like
I
a
didn't
man.
that thing where I didn't get to really see the finish until the replay that bothered me.
because they spent too much time focusing in on Hulk Hogan.
Hollywood Hulk Hogan.
And
So that match didn't really do it
Meh.
for me.
meh.
Next match of the night is a tag team title match, which is the Outsiders.
Hey yo.
Kevin
Terror
Nash.
Quad!
Kevin Nash and Scott Hall versus the Steiner
did
brothers.
Terror Quad.
Nope,
It was
he didn't.
amazing.
It was amazing. And I was also like seeing a unicorn. It just doesn't happen. Against the Steiner brothers, Rick and Scott. I didn't even recognize Scott Steiner.
He wasn't blonde.
He wasn't blonde. He wasn't wearing the shades. He wasn't wearing the chainmail. Like I was like, I had to ask Senor Guapo over here, which one is Scott Steiner? Is it the one in the black tights? He's like, no, it's
It's
the
one
one
without
white.
the earmuffs on.
So like, that was a change for me. This wasn't really a match because Scott Steiner turned on his brother and joins the NWO.
Great heel turn.
It was a great heel turn.
Mid match.
It was in match too. It wasn't after the match. It was during the match. Scott Steiner attacks his brother during the match and tries to give the pin to Scott Hall.
Yeah.
And his brother is able to fight it off a little bit, but they ended up
But in
winning.
the end, the bad guy always wins.
Survey says another one for the good guys.
So the NWO wins the tag team titles. So it wasn't much of a match. And next, we move on to our main event. And this is one that I really want Suave to go into because this was, like he said, it was the first pay-per-view you ever bought.
It was.
And I tried to ask him his feelings of how he felt watching it now, as opposed to how he felt watching
I was
it
9.
then. Yeah. And so it's Hollywood Hulk Hogan.
Versus the icon, the man they call Sting.
And it's for the vacated heavyweight title.
It is.
And so, how did you feel about this match this time?
Well, without seeing all the build up of the story behind it, and just all the hype is not there, it was actually really slow. I felt Hogan bored me to death because the best moments of the match were Sting. He made the match what it was.
And obviously, the story made the match what it was. Because how did you feel about it when you were 9, watching it as a kid? You were totally into it, right?
Yeah, the whole hero going to fight off the big bad wolf. Just this guy's running around WCW. No one can touch him. He's winning the title every night. He's got the refs on his side. He's got 7 or 8 guys with him that are big names like Macho Man Randy Savage. He's got the Outsiders. He's got all these guys. He seems untouchable. And then a guy who just comes down out of the rafters and just takes him down one man. As a kid, you see like, this guy is my hero. This guy, he can do anything. I can do anything.
So yeah, I after that glowing review of everything, I did feel like the match was slow. The best parts of the match were the ending when Sting made his comeback. Essentially,
He hulked up.
He did. He hulked up. He Cena'd
Stinged
up.
up.
He stinged up. He went Super Cena on his ass.
Well, the thing I realized, like, right at the beginning of the match is like, this really isn't a regular match. They kind of treat it like a no DQ. Like, he comes out, he takes off the weight belt and starts hitting them with the weight belt. And they're outside a lot, fight in the crowd, against the barricade, hitting the barricade.
There's also interference from the NWO and from Savage. The NWO comes out, and Sting is able to take out most of them,
He fights
actually. He
the
fights them.
entire
And while
NWO off while the refs
Well-
knock down. And Nick Patrick comes in, who just got
rehired for storyline reasons that I am not aware
I think
of.
he probably fixed the match for Hogan, making him win the title.
But he wasn't crooked now.
No, he was calling it straight down the middle, and you see Hogan just sitting there telling him, like, "What are you doing? I'm Hollywood. I'm Hollywood." He's like, "I'm calling it right down the middle.
Yeah.
1, 2. That was a 2 count."
But the end of the match, close to the end of the match, Sting's fighting off the NWO. Savage slides in, hits Hogan,
Like punches him in the head.
And leaves
A can of spray paint.
Can of spray paint by Hogan. Sting is able to go and pin Hogan, win the title, and then he spray
After he
paints.
does a scorpion death drop.
Yeah, that's right, Scorpion Death Drop. And then he spray paints WCW onto Hogan's stomach.
For life.
So overall, there was some good wrestling on this pay-per-view. There was some meh, but it was a solid show.
A lot of Hogan.
Yeah,
I'm not really a big fan of Hogan. I understand what he did in the past and what he did for the company, and he was really big, but in WCW at this point, he was a snooze fest to me.
He's still a snooze fest to people.
I forgot how much the NWO was so over at this point, but it was just so boring watching this now because they were so over and everything. It was expected that they were going to win, but having Sting defeat Hogan like this with the help, well, somewhat help from Macho Man dropping the elbow, it makes me happy that the NWO was starting to fall and break apart now.
All right, and so that was Superbrawl VIII for WCW.
Back in 1998.
So next time we do...
I think we should have a fan poll. We're going to give them some choices and let them choose.
Okay, okay, so Suavo is now taking control.
Suavo, it's Suave.
Whatever, I've been calling you Suavo all night.
No,
Is
you
it
can say
Suave?
Guapo.
Guapo and Suave.
I don't remember this shit.
He changes, I don't. I'm just too classy for that shit.
You classy motherfucker. Suave has decided to hijack my show, and we did have...
I am the star here, so.
We did have a pay-per-view pick, but I didn't remember what it was. We didn't
That's
remember
Jericho.
what it was. Hashtag Jericho invented it. So I assume Suave is now leaving it up to you guys. If you guys, it's gotta be it's gotta be a 1998 pay-per-view but we want WWF 1998 pay-per-view. So you have like several pay-per-views to choose from, and tell us what pay-per-view we should review for 1998.
Either the Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, Unforgiven,
Oh,
King of the
gosh.
Ring, SummerSlam, Fully Loaded, Breakdown.
Just
Your
look it up.
choice. Have
WWF 1998 pay-per-views. Make a choice. We will watch it. We will review it, and it will be posted at some point.
And if no one chooses anything, we're just going to have Guapo choose it.
El Guapo. Senor Guapo.
You probably have to look for one with a luchador match in it.
Yes, definitely.
Because he's Mexican.
Aww. What do
Not
you
a
guys?
Mexican, damn it.
Shut
I'm
up,
a
you
real
bean-
American.
Shut up, you beaner.
He's a real American.
I'm a real American. And I would like all real Americans to stand with me right now. Put your hand over your heart and say it with me in a loud, clear
Say it with your
voice.
chest. We the people.
That just happened. Yes. Senor Guapo is a real American and doesn't know Spanish, damn it.
Sí. Un poquito, señora. Oh, señorita.
But anyway, so that's it. So yeah, give us a 1998 WWF pay-per-view for us to review for Wrestle Recap Retro.
Now we're going to get people requesting stuff from 99. Just because you made that mistake.
No, I didn't, because I've said 98 like 6 other times. It's going to be fine. I believe in my fans. They're smart people. Brett was that's how I met Brett. He was one of my reviewers, one of my fans from.
Shout out to Brett. We miss him.
Shout out to Brett. We love you, Crossfade Fan 21.
Oh, wow. What a shout out.
Sorry, that was his username.
And this recap was brought to you
No,
by
no.
DDP Yoga.
Crossfade Fan 20 was his username. That's it. Crossfade Fan 20, because apparently there were 19 other
I'm trying to
Crossfade
product plug
fans.
here.
All right, fine, Suave. This episode was brought to you by DDP Yoga.
Not your regular man's yoga. This is
your
not
mom-
your mama's yoga. This is it.
And if you decide to quit, he will come diamond cutter your ass. I hear if you pay $200, he will.
Yeah, if
He'll
you-
call you.
If you get the big package.
You had to say something about a package, didn't you, Suave? But yeah, if you
We decided earlier on in the night that a lot of the ECW
all
pay-per-views,
of the ECW pay-per-views sound like porn.
they do. They sound
all
like
of them
porn.
barely legal. One night stand.
I think those were the jokes behind
Yes. So, anyways, Suave walked off, but
I couldn't get a drink, damn it!
we're trying to say goodnight, Suave.
Suave, get over here.
Suave's drinking now. He's so sad by the fact that I haven't seen so many movies that I've driven him to drink.
She hasn't watched Forrest Gump. That's all I'm saying.
God.
Pulp Fiction says it all. Good night, everybody. Suave out.
And drops the mic.
Night, everyone.
Buenas noches, señoras.